It's absolutely apptacular. The Subject Cinema Android app. Everything you need to be a rabid Subject Cinema fan. Subject Cinema, 3-Minute Weekend, Tuesday Digidex, and Front Row 5 and 10. All right at your fingertips and available instantly. Plus, email and voicemail links, Facebook and Twitter hookups, Patreon support specials, and more is coming real soon. Don't just listen, app it. The all-in-one Subject Cinema podcast app. Android version available now at Google Play or on PNRNetwork websites. Amazon and iPhone apps coming soon. Don't delay. Download today.
Blueberry. This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
Needs an enema.
Celebrating a decade of film podcasting. Lasting out of Beantown, USA, you're tuned into Subject Cinema with TC Kirkham and Kim Brown.
Directive.
Oh, behave. Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute.
Suppose you run your business and let me run mine. Here's looking at you, kid.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome TC and Kim.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition from the folks that bring you Subject Cinema, me and him. That would be me, Kim Brown.
And I'm TC Kirkham. This isn't Front Row 5 and 10, you know.
No, I know, but it's a special thing that we're doing here for
it's
all
Subject
our
Cinema Special.
Yes,
so.
it's our Subject Cinema Special because we're looking back
at Awards Weekend 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Every year, it turns out to be hype. Bleh.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Although there were some good winners. I was disappointed with some others. But, you know, it wasn't an actually terrible year.
And there were some actually pretty funny things that happened, at least during the Academy Awards.
And I have to be honest, we'll talk about the Oscars in a few minutes, but I don't think it was nearly as bad as everybody's been complaining about. I thought it was actually one of the better shows they've had in years, even if it was the all-time lowest rated Oscars. And they're blaming Kimmel, and I'm like, Kimmel was hilarious. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's start it off with the bad movies of the year. And these aren't really bad movies. These are the bad movies that Hollywood studios are aware of.
Yeah.
If they had the real bad movies on, there would be all these little indies that go straight to DVD and home video.
Yeah.
That nobody's ever heard of. And they're not going to do that. The Golden Raspberry Awards given out Saturday evening.
The 38th Golden Raspberry Awards, thank you very much.
Affectionately known as the Razzie.
Supposedly honoring the worst films Hollywood has to offer. They should say...
I didn't say dishonoring.
They should also say, like you mentioned, they're really talking about big budget studio stuff.
Yeah.
Because if they were talking about crappy movies done by tiny studios, The Asylum would be up for everything.
Well, The Asylum never releases anything in theaters. So.
No.
So that's a good thing.
I'm pretty sure that's a violation against the Geneva Convention. Or
Riff Tracks has shown Sharknado, but that doesn't count.
No.
So this year's winners, of the
winners, Dr. Evil quotes.
2018 Razzies.
Yes.
The Emoji Movie was the big winner.
Yes.
Winning 4 of the major awards, including Worst Picture. It beat out Baywatch, 50 Shades Darker, The Mummy, and Transformers: The Last Night.
Yep.
For Worst Picture. This movie must have been terrible. We
really
didn't see it.
No.
I'm going to watch it when it comes on cable just because I want to see if it's really all that bad. But let's face it, if you have a movie where Patrick Stewart is voicing a talking, walking pile of poop, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Well, when we heard the title, just the title, the emoji.
Well, when they announced it, we were like, "Are you crazy?"
I was like, I have this enormous feeling of dread. You know?
Of course, I thought Angry Birds would bomb too, and it didn't.
No.
So,
also garnering some awards at the Razzies were Worst Director went to Tony Leonis. I don't even know how you say your name, Tony. Sorry, for the Emoji Movie. He beat out Darren Aronofsky's Mother, Michael Bay, Transformers: The Last Night, James Foley, 50 Shades Darker, and Alex Kurtzman for The Mummy.
I got to be honest, Mother was a critically acclaimed film that the public just turned its nose up at.
Yeah.
They thought it was garbage. So.
Well, yeah, that kind of happens when you insult, half of the world's religion.
Right.
That
okay.
People tend to get a little bit snippy.
Next.
Worst actor, the Razzie went to Tom Cruise for his performance in The Mummy, beating out Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades Darker, Zac Efron from Baywatch, and Mark Wahlberg from Daddy's Home 2 and Transformers: The Last Night.
I would have had Zac Efron in the supporting category. But that's me.
I would have too, but that would have meant putting Dwayne Johnson in as worst actor.
He's won it. He's been on it before.
And since Dwayne Johnson could probably tear these people's arms off,
Dwayne would probably do what Halle Berry and Sandra Bullock did before him and go collect his award and have fun with it.
Yeah.
He does that.
Yeah, and then beat them up. and then give them a rock bottom. Worst actress went to Tyler Perry. See what they did there?
Yeah.
For Boo 2, a Medea Halloween.
I mean, let's face it. The Medea thing has been beaten into the ground and 6 feet under. I know they make money, but they're just garbage. This isn't the first time he's won that either.
The other people in that category
were actually women.
The other people who were actually women, yes. Isn't that amazing? Were Katherine Heigl for Unforgettable.
Which everybody forgot.
Apparently. Dakota Johnson for 50 Shades Darker. Jennifer Lawrence for Mother. See that whole pissing off half of the world's religions. And Emma Watson for The Circle.
To our credit, Anthony, our buddy Aunt B from Comic Grotto really loved The Circle. Mm-hmm. He's the only person I know that did.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but it had a great cast. Emma Watson, John Boyega, Tom Hanks.
I don't want to see it because I will probably, if I see it, I'm going to lock myself.
You don't want to see it. No. I don't want you getting paranoid.
I will lock myself in the bathroom and never come out.
What's next?
Next up, Worst Supporting Actor, Mel Gibson for Daddy's Home 2.
Okay, I won't take it then. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. He beat out Javier Bardem for Mother and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Russell Crowe for The Mummy, Josh Duhamel for Transformers: The Last Night, and Anthony Hopkins for Collide, which I don't remember at all, and Transformers: The Last Night.
I think Pirates is getting a bit of a shaft. It wasn't a terrible movie by any stretch. It wasn't the third one or the fourth. What was the last one? The fourth one, the mermaid one.
Oh, on Stranger Tides.
That was a terrible film, and I mean this one wasn't that bad.
Okay,
and it had Brenton Thwaites and Kayla Scodelario in it, and I like both of them, so they're good. Supporting actress went to Kim Basinger for 50 Shades Darker. She beat out Sophia Boutella for The Mummy, Laura Haddock for Transformers: The Last Night, Goldie Hawn for Snatched, and Susan Sarandon, A Bad Mom's Christmas. This wasn't a good year for Goldie. Goldie has not made a movie in 17 years. And boy, did she pick the wrong movie to come back with.
Worst on-screen combo, the Razzie went to any two obnoxious emojis from the Emoji Movie, beating out any combinations of two characters, two sex toys, or two sexual positions from 50 Shades Darker.
They always have fun with this one.
See, because it's a movie about sex. You get it?
It's a movie about BDSM sex, yeah.
Bad BDSM sex.
Yeah, from what I've heard.
Any combination of two humans, two robots, or two explosions, Transformers: The Last Night. Johnny Depp and his worn-out drunk routine, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. And Tyler Perry and either of the ratty old dress or worn-out wig from Boo to a Medea Halloween. Man, does Tyler Perry owe somebody money over at the Razzies? Because they really don't like him.
For worst remake, ripoff, or sequel, the winner was 50 Shades Darker, beating out Baywatch, Boo 2, a Medea Halloween, which is a stunner, The Mummy, and Transformers The Last Night. Worst screenplay was The Emoji Movie, beating out Baywatch, 50 Shades Darker, The Mummy, and Transformers Last Night.
And the Razzie nominee, So Rotten You Loved It, the winner was Baywatch.
It was sponsored by Rotten Tomatoes.
Beating out The Emoji Movie, 50 Shades Darker, The Mummy, and Transformers The Last Night.
Yeah, Baywatch is supposed to be really, really funny if you're like not taking it seriously. So
there was another award, the Barry L. Bumstead Award, which went to Chips. I don't have any idea what that is, if that's some kind of an inside joke or whatever.
Okay.
And the Razzie Redeemer Award goes to A Safe Hollywood Haven, where talent is protected, nourished, and allowed to flourish with proper compensation.
Okay, so where was that? Did they actually find that place?
I don't know.
I don't know. They didn't have all those on my list, unfortunately. I missed a couple. But once again, the Razzies celebrating the worst of Hollywood's big budget stuff.
Actually, the film that had the most nominations for Razzies was Transformers The Last Night with 10, followed by 50 Shades Darker with 9, The Mummy with 8, Baywatch and The Emoji Movie with 5, Boo 2 a Medea Halloween, Mother and Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales with 3, and Daddy's Home with 2.
They usually go after the Transformers films. They don't like them at all.
Yes, they do. Well, I wondered what they were going to do once the Twilight movies stopped. I figured, who are they going to tear apart now?
The Spirit Awards, Independent Spirit Awards, were handed out Saturday afternoon at the tent in Santa Monica. Like always. Who hosted the show this year? I can't even find a thing. Nick Kroll and John Mulaney hosted the show this year. The winners really reflected the way that a lot of the indie stuff was going this year, so they weren't any major surprise. Best Picture went to Get Out, awarded to producers Jason Blum, Edward H. Ham, Sean McKittrick, and Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele also won Best Director for Get Out. Best Female Lead went to Frances Dork McDormand, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Best Male Lead to young Timothée Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name.
Best Supporting Actor Male went to Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Best Supporting Female went to Allison Janney for I, Tonya. Best Screenplay went to Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, and Best First Screenplay went to Emily V. Gordon and Kumail Nanjiani for The Big Sick.
Best Editing went to Tatiana S. Regal for I, Tonya. Documentary Feature went to Faces Places from Agnes Vartha, Jr. Cinematography, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, sir. Sayombu Mukdipram.
That sounds about right.
For Call Me By Your Name. Best First Feature went to Ingrid Goes West, director Matt Spicer. The John Cassavetes Award went to Life and Nothing More. The Robert Altman Award for Best Casting went to Mudbound. That one is always announced at the time the Spirit Award nominees are announced.
The Keel's Someone to Watch Award, which recognizes a talented filmmaker of singular vision who has not yet received appropriate recognition, went to Justin Chon for Gook. That's the name of the movie, don't yell at me. And the Bonnie Award, which was inaugurated this year, recognized mid-career women directors with a body of work that demonstrates uniqueness of vision and a groundbreaking approach to filmmaking. And that went to Chloe Zhao.
Also, the Piaget Producers Award went to Summer Shelton. Best International Film to A Fantastic Woman from Chile. The Jeep Truer Than Fiction Award to Jonathan Olszewski for Quest, and the Seattle Story Award, this is new this year, to Maddie Brown. There's no big surprises here. The Spirit Awards very rarely have the same nominees as the Oscars because the Spirit Awards are limited to films that made for $20 million or less.
Yep.
They've stretched it to 20 or 21 or 22 million a couple of times and gotten beaten down by the indie fans for it when Silver Linings Playbook won a bunch of stuff. And
Yep.
it's like, I don't know. I was disappointed that James Franco didn't win for Best Actor, but I have to say, although we haven't seen the film yet, and I still want to see it now that it's out on DVD and on demand, we should probably order it. I find Timothée Chalamet to be one of the most, how do I put this, engaging and charming young actors I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
He's very funny. He's very obviously grateful for this career. I mean, this kid appeared in 4 of the films nominated or up for... In addition to Call Me By Your Name, which landed him a ton of awards and critics awards, he also appears in Lady Bird as one of Saoirse Ronan's classmates. He's in Hostiles with Christian Bale, and he's in something else. Oh, the upcoming Woody Allen movie that he made that isn't out yet. But he's something else. So these are, like I said, no big surprise here. A lot of happy winners. And people, of course, this just to bring it up because we don't want you guys to think we were slamming or being racist. The film Gook was actually written and directed by Justin Chon, Asian-American actor who was best known from the Twilight films. Rave reviews all through the summer last year.
Yep.
And it's actually about a Korean family surviving the riots of Los Angeles during the Rodney King stuff. And it's a really hard-hitting film, and he got rave reviews for it. Watching him in the Twilight films, you'd never know he had it in him.
Well, you knew he was a good actor.
Yes,
but
he was.
You didn't realize he had such a serious side.
No. Finally, there was this little show called the Academy Awards on Sunday night.
Yeah, little thing you might... It was blip on the radar, you know.
Most of the attention around the Academy Awards wasn't on the awards itself, but how the awards would handle all of the stuff going on in Hollywood right now. The Me Too movement. What's the other one? Never Again. All the stuff that's been going on with the sexual harassment. There was controversy right up to the time of the show because E! would not pull Ryan Seacrest off their red carpet, and as a result, their ratings were down almost 50% from last year.
Wow.
Seacrest is fighting back, and internal things say that he didn't, that they concluded an investigation and that there were no truth to the rumors, and so everybody's standing by him, but they're still beating him like they've been doing, beating a dead horse without any proof, any substantiated stuff anywhere on most of these cases. I'm sorry, but I don't believe in guilty until proven innocent. It's supposed to be the other way around. The award show itself, which I skipped last year, I actually sat through most of this year, and Jimmy Kimmel did a stellar job as host. I'm not a big Kimmel fan sometimes. He can be really obnoxious, but his off-the-wall sense of humor is perfect for the Oscars. And I don't know why people slammed on him last year. I thought some of the stuff I saw online was funny. This year, the big thing for him, in addition to calling out, all of the stuff going on and, bringing attention to it, this whole show was about diversity, which, depending on which side of the aisle you're on, was either the best thing ever or the absolute slap in the face to Americans everywhere. Depending on which side you're on, like I said. Kimmel's hosting duties, though, really took a turn for the bizarre and funny when he announced the contest for the shortest acceptance speech. Yeah. Now, for their credit, Oscar did not quite run 4 hours. The first time in several years that they were less than 4 hours long. They started a half hour earlier than they usually do at 8 o'clock instead of 8:30. And they got off the air before midnight, which is really something. Kimmel announced the contest for the shortest acceptance speech would get a prize, and he, so what are they getting, Johnny? And they bring out this huge jet ski. And the guy, whoever's doing the announcing for the show, reads through it, and they have the Price is Right music theme playing, and they have Helen Mirren as their spokesmodel, doing the whole Carol Merrill thing with the jet ski. Later on, he sweetened the deal with a trip to Lake Havasu, Arizona, to use the jet ski. And I'm sorry, that was a running gag that was a true piece of brilliance. You don't normally see some of that stuff. in the Oscars, and I think it was a costume designer. They actually gave them the jet ski. They pulled it out at the end of the show with the costume, or whichever guy won it, and Helen Mirren back up there waving and having fun with it. Mm-hmm. It was funny. I really genuinely thought the whole bit was funny. And I think a lot of the, excuse me, a lot of the political charged stuff that went on last year after the election was toned down this year in favor of slightly less vitriolic.
Yeah.
There was a celebration of immigrants, which is kind of hard to miss because of Coco this year. There were some great spots about different stuff that is political, but it was done without slamming your face in it, which also took a lot of guts. And again, like I said, at the beginning, Kimmel was out there, getting the whole thing opened with this old-timey newsreel type thing where they were showing people and like it was in a newsreel, but it actually just faded to the regular color, and Kimmel comes out and starts hammering on the stars like he always did. And the best thing I liked about it was he was pointing out that Timothée Chalamet, who wore unusually a brilliant white tux to the event, brought his mom. He's 23 years old. It was funny because he was pointing out how young Timothy was, the youngest nominee in like 40 years in this category. And of course he was missing Paw Patrol to be here, which was really funny, and Timothy was losing it. And then he went over to Christopher Plummer, who was the oldest nominee of the year and would be the oldest winner had he won, but he did not.
The part I like the best, I gotta say the part I like the best, they decided they were doing this segment where they were talking about how they wanted to thank the people that make the movies.
Now, see, this was the one segment that everyone online positively hated. And I think that's really interesting.
I loved it. Yeah, of course they hated it because it's dealing with the hoi polloi, us. It was the idea of thanking the fans, the people that go to the movies, the people who go to movies who aren't paid to go to the movies and sit there and say how much better the movies that nobody else likes, but you like because you're a critic.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute.
And Jimmy Kimmel took a bunch of stars, including people like Gal Gadot, Mark Hamill, Armie Hammer, and
Guillermo del
Toro, and lots of other people, and they went across the street
where ABC Disney was staging a preview of A Wrinkle in Time for the audience,
and they surprised the people in the theater. And I'm sorry. If that had happened to me, I would have dropped dead.
That has happened to us. We've actually had that happen. We didn't know Bradley Cooper was going to be at the screening of The Place Beyond the Pines.
No, we didn't. And that was very exciting.
It was fun.
It was very exciting. And Bradley Cooper was really awesome. You're a great guy, Bradley. You rock doing the voice of Rocket Raccoon. But no offense, if I'm in a theater watching a movie and Mark frickin' Hamill walks in, I'm going to fall over dead. I'm just going...
He already did, didn't he? Oh, I'm getting the death eyes. I'm sorry.
Oh, you had to poke that bit.
Oh, I did, yes.
You had to
he's going to be playing the Joker until he's 200.
You had to kick that hornet's nest, huh?
Let's get into the awards, okay?
Ooh, I'm going to get you back for that
one. The
one.
best picture of 2018 is The Shape of Water, directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Who also won Best Director.
He won Best Director as well. Best Actor went to Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. Frances McDormand picking up her Best Actress award here for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Best Supporting Actor, Sam Rockwell. Also 3 Billboards. And Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Best Supporting Actress.
Best Original Screenplay, the award went to Jordan Peele for Get Out. Best Adapted Screenplay went to Call Me By Your Name, James Ivory, based on the novel of the same name by Andre Eichmann.
Best Animated Feature went to Coco, producers Lee Unkrich and Darla K. Anderson. And Best Foreign Language Film went to A Fantastic Woman from Chile in Spanish, directed by Sebastián Lillo.
Best Documentary Feature went to Icarus, Brian Fogel and Dan Cogan. And Best Documentary Short Subject went to Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405, Frank Stifel. Best Live Action Short Film, The Silent Child, Chris Overton and Rachel Shenton. And Best Animated Short Film, Dear Basketball, Glenn Keane and Kobe Bryant.
We'll get back to that one. Best Original Score, The Shape of Water, Alexander Desplat, which I have to admit stunned me. I was sure John Williams was going to get another one. Best Original Song, To Remember Me, from Coco. Music and lyrics by Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez. Best Sound Editing and Best Sound Mixing to Dunkirk. Best Production Design to The Shape of Water. Best Cinematography, for the first time after 17 nominations, Roger Deakins for Blade Runner 2049.
Best Makeup and Hairstyling went to Darkest Hour, Kazuro Tsuji, David Malinowski, and Lucy Sibick. Best Costume Design went to Phantom Thread, Mark Bridges.
And a jet ski. And a trip to Lake Havasu. Best Film Editing went to Dunkirk for Lee Smith. Best Visual Effects to Blade Runner 2049. John Nelson, Gerd Nefzer, Paul Lambert, and Richard Hoover. And the Governor's Awards held on November 11th. The honorary awards were given to Agnès Varda, the French film director. Charles Burnett, American writer, producer, director, and cinematographer. Actor Donald Sutherland, and Owen Roisman, an American cinematographer. The Best Special Achievement Academy Award was given to Alejandro Inarritu for his virtual reality project Carne and Arena, which is really, really something, from what everybody said. Now, a lot of this is something that has become a big thing. People are complaining that the awards are not a surprise anymore, that there's no surprises. Because, for the most part, if you've won a SAG award, you know you're going to win an Oscar. The only place that changed was Best Ensemble at the SAGs went to 3 Billboards, which usually means that's going to win Best Picture. It did win Best Picture at the British BFI a couple weeks ago, but lost out to The Shape of Water here. Mm-hmm. I tend to agree that, it doesn't really give you much excitement anymore. I think that's why people have started to drop off in droves, other than the politics, is that there's nothing exciting, and this is a continual complaint, and I've got to bring it up every year. People don't like the Oscars anymore because nobody has seen the films. Mm-hmm. There's 2 solutions to this. Number 1, get the films out in wide release for the 4 weeks before Oscar. Stop waiting. I mean, it's okay for an Oscar run in December, fine. But get them into theaters in wide release, not these little 40, 50 theater releases. Call Me By Your Name has been playing in 4 and 5 theaters at a time around the country. It never got in more than 50 theaters. So no wonder nobody saw it. Get them into these.
Well, that and it's not exactly the kind of movie that's going to play well in
parts
of the country.
It will give.
Notice I didn't say where.
It would give people the chance to see these critically acclaimed films, which they don't really have, other than Get Out and Get Out, The Post, and what's the other one? Roman J. Israel and Dunkirk are the only ones that got wide releases of the major films. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread were in a few more theaters. 3 Billboards went to, I think, 1,000 at one point. And people don't see them, and that's part of the problem. There are no blockbusters because people don't seem, people are always complaining, well, there's no blockbusters. Why don't we ever have any big hits? Excuse me, Get Out, one of the biggest films of the year last year. Mm-hmm. So don't tell me there's no blockbusters in there. But, by the same token, the Academy Awards are not about popularity. They're about quality.
Yep.
Supposedly. These are supposedly the best films of the year.
Yep.
Not necessarily the most mass-marketed.
Right.
Sometimes they correlate. See Return of the King.
Yeah.
But not very often.
Which had to happen because considering the fact that Fellowship and The Two Towers got the shaft 2 years running. If they hadn't given everything to Return of the King, there would have been a full-scale geek riot on their hands.
It is unfortunate that Star Wars Last Jedi did not win any of its 5 nominations in the technical categories. It deserved at least one of them.
Just goes to show what my dear sweet mother always says, some people's tastes are in their mouths.
I was disappointed, I will admit, that Three Billboards did not win Best Picture. It was my Best Picture of 2017, and it was utterly hilarious. If you've never seen
and heartbreaking.
It's a very dark comedy, and it has a lot of crime elements in it. And the thing that really scared me, you weren't in the room, you were in here, the clip they showed when they were doing the supporting actor of Woody Harrelson was the scene that ends with him coughing and all hell breaks loose. And they cut it off before they got to that. I'm like, that's a pivotal scene. Don't you dare expose that scene. And they stopped it before, because that's a big revelation scene in the film, and you don't want that to know what's going on there. More people should have seen these, and it's a shame. Now, let's talk about Lady Bird. Lady Bird has been one of the most critically acclaimed films of the year. And yet, both of us, we never really gravitated toward it, even though it's filled with people we like.
I know.
Saoirse Ronan is perhaps one of the best young female actresses around today. Laurie Metcalf, I didn't even recognize. I haven't seen her for 20 years since she was on Roseanne, but, she's coming back for the new one, too. And it also includes Lucas Hedges and Timothée Chalamet and a number of other people. But you saw the trailer. And your hackles were up. You were going to drag your feet kicking and screaming if I insisted on seeing this film. You were not going to go willingly.
No.
Why? What trigger did that movie have? And I think that may have stopped it from being... Lady Bird got completely shut out at the Oscars despite its raves.
I don't know. Maybe because I'm looking at this character and I'm like, what in the hell have you got to be so damn angry about? You're a young, beautiful girl.
For those of you who don't know, it's about a tension-filled mother and daughter relationship between a Catholic schoolgirl and her somewhat obstinate, pushy, and obnoxious mom. It's the I, Tonya of the real-life set, which is what I, Tonya is about, too.
I'm just kind of like, what in the hell have you got to be angry about at your age? You're a young... smart, attractive, well-spoken young woman. Why in the hell are you so angry? I was your age once, and I was that angry, and I had a shite ton of reasons to be that angry. You don't have that.
Well, I thought it was interesting that Greta did say that this is partially autobiographical. She wrote it, she directed it. And everybody is calling her one of the greatest up-and-coming filmmakers. And I've always liked Greta as an actress, so she's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Did anything really other than Lady Bird, get the bottom kicked out from underneath it, do you think? I think everybody was more pissed about the in memoriam segment, which neglected Glenn Campbell, Adam West, Toby Hooper, among others.
Although they did include... Haruo Nakajima, which made me very, very, very happy.
And I looked at her, I'm like, who was that? I knew the name. And she's like, he was in the Godzilla suit! Like, I should have known that from day one.
Sorry.
So, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, he passed away last year,
What happens when you poke the G-fan, because Sven Gulli was nice enough to bring it up. Haruo Nakajima was the gentleman that was in the Godzilla suit from the original Gojira all the way up through Godzilla vs. Gigan in 1972, although that was via stock footage. But yeah, it was. Every year there's somebody that gets left out of the in memoriam thing. And the level of annoyance and or white hot rage that occurs in our house depends on who it is. Case in point, a few years back when they omitted Akira Ikefube. And
that was good reason. Ifube wrote so many scores for Japanese films and was so well known.
Was the man who created Godzilla's roar. And when they did not include him in the in memorial segment, I got a little
She was
heated.
pissed. She got really pissed.
There were a lot of 4-letter words thrown around. But the fact that Adam West was not included, I'm sorry. Adam West was the first Batman to be featured on the big screen in a full-length Batman film. I'm not including the serials from the 40s.
Right.
I'm sorry. No,
that's what everybody
right.
said. He had the first Batman film, and he should have been included.
That's not right.
But the Academy does tend to push other people that are from TV or music out of their memoriam segment because they're better known for those mediums. Adam's better known for television, Glenn Campbell for music, and I'm sure the Grammys gave him a proper send-off. I didn't see the Grammys this year. All right, so let's get on out of here, and let's start the Oscar calendar now. We'll first hear about more Oscar contenders for next year, probably by the end of this week. South by Southwest opens on Thursday, and Sundance and all those are over. There's already buzz about some of them. The first Oscar predictions from the idiots over at IndieWire will probably start hitting around April 1st. They usually do. I'm like, really? I don't know. I hate the fact that the online community entertainment sites do this because it just cheapens the entire season. And they can't seem to grasp that. They need to put a moratorium, no Oscar predictions until at least November, you know? Or maybe one during the Cannes Film Festival since it is so important. But I'm like, I don't know. It just irritates the crap out of me.
Me too.
So we hope you've enjoyed our coverage and we hope you enjoyed this year's awards, and we'll be back next year to do the same thing. Don't forget to check out all of our other shows over the weeks as you check on PNRNetworks shows, and don't forget to check our sites as well, and to share, subscribe, and like everything that you listen to.
Yep.
For Subject Cinema's 2018 Awards Weekend Wrap-Up, I'm T.C. Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
May your popcorn always be buttered.
And may your roses always be in bloom.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to Subject Cinema with hosts T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Subject Cinema is produced by PNRNetworks, Boston, Massachusetts, which is solely responsible for its content. Subject Cinema theme performed by Eric Lyon. Subject Cinema is recorded and produced using Sony Vegas products. Subject Cinema is copyright 2017 by PNRNetworks under a Creative Commons license. Check out a new episode of Subject Cinema every weekend. Until next time, this is Bob Taylor for Subject Cinema, and we'll see you at the movies.
That's all.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.